Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Recha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Chronicles, the 20th chapter. So, continuing in the reign of Jehoshaphat, we see here that, he had, let's just go back real quick. Right, so the Lord was not too happy with Jehoshaphat for joining affinity with Ahab to help him, knowing that Ahab was a wicked Israelite. And Jehoshaphat, having heard that, basically continued in his reform of the Lord, right, and seeking the Lord. So here we are in 2 Chronicles 20. And it came to pass after this also, that the children of Moab and the children of Ammon, and with them other besides the Ammonites, came against Jehoshaphat to battle. So in time, these nations rose up, to come in and basically fight against Judah. Then there came some that told Jehoshaphat, saying, There cometh a great multitude against thee from beyond the sea on this side Syria. And behold, they be in Hazazon Tamar, which is En Gedi. Now, something to point out here in 2 Chronicles 20 and 2, at least in this translation, regular KJV here, it mentions Syria, right, in the blue letter here, though this is more appropriately, or should be, Edom. All right, because, for one, when you look in the other translations, you'll notice they have it as Edom. And that's one thing that, you see periodically in certain verses in the blue letter, sometimes where it should refer to the Edomites, you see the word Syrian over there. And it could be a problem in the translation, who knows, right? Aram, Adam, Adawam, But in any case, you can see in NLT, and you'll see as we read later on why it makes more sense that it's Edom, in addition to the geographical location here. So messengers came and told Jehoshaphat, A vast army of Edom is marching against you from beyond the Dead Sea. They are already at Hazazon Tamar, which was another name for En Gedi. And when you look here at the at the map here, you'll see here's En Gedi is by the Dead Sea, right? If you were to look at this one here, you'll see how they place it by the Dead Sea, and Edom was south around here, right? And you had Moab and Ammon, which were on this side. So it would make more sense that this would be the Edomites instead of the Syrians, which are all the way up north. Why would they have to come all the way down here to take this route? But in any case, continuing. So where we at? So this is told to Jehoshaphat. Verse 3. And Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord Yahweh and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. And Judah gathered themselves together to ask help of the Lord Yahweh. Even out of all the cities of Judah, they came to seek the Lord. And Jehoshaphat stood in the congregation of Judah and Jerusalem, in the house of the Lord Yahweh, before the new court. So they were in the temple. And said, O Lord Yahweh, God of our fathers, art not thou God in heaven? And rulest not thou over all the kingdoms of the heathen? And in thine hand is there not power and might, so that none is able to withstand thee? Art not thou our God, who didst drive out the inhabitants of this land before thy people Israel, and gavest it to the seed of Abraham thy friend forever? And they dwelt therein, and have built thee a sanctuary therein for thy name, saying, and this was done during Solomon's time, right, the building of the temple here, if when evil cometh upon us, as the sword, judgment, or pestilence, or famine, we stand before this house and in thy presence, for thy name is in this house, and cry unto thee in our affliction, then thou wilt hear and help. So this is basically what you said, and this was a part of the prayer of Solomon, right, when dedicating the temple. So that's what they did. They came here, they cried unto the Lord in the temple. And now behold, the children of Ammon and Moab and Mount Seir, whom thou wouldest not let Israel invade when they came out of the land of Egypt, but they turned from them and destroy them not. Because when you go back into the history, the Lord told us not to to take those lands while conquering the areas, right, the neighboring areas. And when you read up above, now you see here, right, Jehoshaphat is mentioning those that are coming up against him as Ammon, Moab, and Seir, which are the Edomites. They were dwelling there, right, not the Syrians. So that also lets you know, as we read on down as well, there's an error there in the second verse, right? It should be Seir or Edom rather than Syrians. In any case, he continues to beseech the Lord. Behold, I say, how they reward us, to come to cast us out of thy possession, which thou hast given us to inherit. O our God, wilt thou not judge them? For we have no might against this great company that cometh against us, neither know we what to do, but our eyes are upon thee. So we're looking at you for help, because you got the Moabites, Ammonites, and the Edomites all together at the same time. At the same time, it's obviously there's nothing more that we could do save turn to the Lord. And so Jehoshaphat did the right thing in having all Judah gather in the temple to seek the help of the Lord. And that's what the Lord wants. And all Judah stood before the Lord Yahweh with their little ones, their wives, and their children. Then upon Jahaziel, so you can imagine they're all there, right? Everybody's, some are probably praying in their head. Jehoshaphat is beseeching the Lord. So everybody's there waiting. And then all of a sudden, right, then upon Jahaziel, the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaiah, the son of Jael, the son of Mattaniah, a Levite of the sons of Asaph, came the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh in the midst of the congregation. And he said, Hearken ye, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou, King Jehoshaphat. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto you, Be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude. For the battle is not yours, but the Most High's. So don't even stress about it, because it's not your battle to fight. All right, the Lord is going to take care of this. Tomorrow go ye out, or go ye down against them. Behold, they come up by the cliff Ziz, and ye shall find them by the end of the brook, before the wilderness of Jeruel, which was somewhere south, I believe, of Judah. Verse 17, Ye shall not need to fight in this battle. Set yourselves and stand ye still, and see the salvation of the Lord Yahweh with you. O Judah and Jerusalem, fear not, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for the Lord Yahweh will be with you. So the Spirit jumped on let's see, what was his name? Jahaziel, was it? Yeah, Jahaziel, to basically, the Lord spoke through him, right, to encourage and exhort Israel that I've heard you, and don't even worry about it. I got this. You don't even have to do anything. Just go out and witness what the Lord is going to do on your behalf. So this is what was going on in the southern kingdom. Meanwhile, you had all that wickedness that the northern kings were busy doing over there. Verse 18, And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the Lord, worshiping the Lord. And the Levites of the children of the Kohathites and of the children of the Korites stood up to praise the Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, with a loud voice on high. And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. As they went forth, and if you just look up Tekoa here, as it says, a town in the hill country of Judah near Hebron, built by King Rehoboam of Judah, birthplace of Amos, a wilderness area where King Jehoshaphat of Judah defeated the people of Moab, Ammon, and Mount Seir. So once again, going to show you this this trio were the Moabites, the Ammonites, and the Edomites. So they went there in the morning to Tekoa, and as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, "Hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in the Lord Yahweh your God, so shall ye be established. Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper." And when he had consulted with the people, he appointed singers unto the Lord Yahweh, and that they should praise the beauty of his holiness as they went out before the army, and to say, "Praise the Lord Yahweh, for his mercy endureth forever." So while they're out there, right, on the battlefield, you could call it, they had the singers and everybody ready praising the Lord. So they came out there with confidence, to see what the Lord would do on their behalf, which is the right spirit to be in. And when they began to sing and to praise, the Lord Yahweh set ambushments against the children of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir. And ambushments in this case, the meaning of the word here is best used as like a snare, right, or a trap. Okay, because what the Lord ended up doing here, as we're about to read, wasn't with physical, he didn't set like physical Israelites to ambush them per se, but you'll see what he ends up doing. So the Lord sets up these ambushments right against them, which were come against Judah, and they were smitten. For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and destroy them. So all of a sudden, the Moabites and the Ammonites turn around and they start going at it with the Edomites. They just start killing them, cutting them up, looking at them like they're the enemy. And when they had made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped to destroy another. So once they took out Edom, they turned on each other and started taking themselves out. So the Lord put that spirit upon them to where Israel didn't even need to do anything, right? Or as to say, Judah, they just watched or came to see this bloodshed of basically them fighting each other. And that's because the Lord, pretty much put a spirit on them, right? Messed up their minds to see each other as the enemy. Now, could that have manifested as them actually looking like the enemy? Who knows, right? Like hallucinations, where you're seeing somebody, like you're seeing your fellow armsman, but he looks like an Israelite, and everybody else looks like Israelites to you, and vice versa. They're seeing you like you one of the Judites, and they just murking each other. Anyway, this is what happened. And when Judah came toward the watchtower in the wilderness, they looked unto the multitude, and behold, they were dead bodies fallen to the earth, and none escaped. That's it. So that whole large, huge army that came against them, just done, cooked, killed each other. And when Jehoshaphat and his people came to take away the spoil of them, they found among them in abundance both riches with the dead bodies and precious jewels, which they stripped off for themselves, more than they could carry away. And they were 3 days in gathering of the spoil, it was so much. So imagine that. You didn't have to do anything. Really, the Lord just brought you riches. You go on there and there was so much riches, so much spoil that it took them 3 days just gathering them. And on the 4th day, they assembled themselves in the valley of Barakah, which is Barakah. For there they blessed the Lord Yahweh. So you have the word Barak, which is blessed, right in there. Therefore the name of the place, or the name of the same place, was called the Valley of Barakah on to this day. Then they returned, every man of Judah and Jerusalem, and Jehoshaphat in the forefront of them, to go again to Jerusalem with joy. For the Lord Yahweh had made them to rejoice over their enemies. So a situation that looked like one that would be their demise quickly turned to a pleasant surprise. Why? Because they turned and sought the Lord, and the Lord helped them. And they came to Jerusalem with psalteries and harps and trumpets unto the house of the Lord. And the fear of God was on all the kingdoms of those countries, when they had heard that the Lord Yahweh fought against the enemies of Israel. So the realm of Jehoshaphat was quiet, for God gave him rest round about. So back to peace. And Jehoshaphat reigned over Judah. He was 35 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 20 and 5 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Azubah, the daughter of Shilhi. And he walked in the way of Asa his father, and departed not from it, doing that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Howbeit the high places were not taken away, for as yet the people had not prepared their hearts unto the Lord Yahweh, God of their fathers. So that is to say that during his reign, they didn't take out all the high places and the groves, because not every Israelite, like Israel or Judah, hadn't fully, not all of them, had fully turned to the Lord. So there were still certain areas where there were not as much as before, but they were still worshiping these idols. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Jehu the son of Hanani, who is mentioned in the book of the kings of Israel. And after this did Jehoshaphat king of Judah join himself with Ahaziah king of Israel, who did very wickedly. And he joined himself with him to make ships to go to Tarshish, and they made the ships in Ezion-Geber. And we'll read about this, or we read about this in 1 Kings 22, which we'll see how that didn't really work out too well. But now we actually get the insight as to why it didn't work out. All right. So it says here, then Eleazar the son of Dodavah of Mareshah prophesied against Jehoshaphat, saying, because thou hast joined thyself with Ahaziah, the Lord Yahweh hath broken thy works. And the ships were broken, that they were not able to go to Tarshish. And when you read this, the wording is actually, there were ships of Tarshish that were trying to go to Ophir. And when you read here in 1 Kings 22 and 48, this is the parallel here, right? It says Jehoshaphat made ships of Tarshish to go to Ophir for gold, but they went not, for the ships were broken at Ezion-Geber. So now you see why, right? Why were they broken? Because the Lord had that happen because he did not like that alliance. So then Ahaziah the son of Ahab said unto Jehoshaphat, let my servants go with thy servants in the ships. But Jehoshaphat would not, because then he knew why the ships were broken, and he said, yeah, the Lord is not with this, so I'm not gonna try it again. And that brings us to the end of 2 Chronicles, the 20th chapter. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.